Welcome back, my people. This is our second part of our discussion today, and we are still discussing about the stomach flu, or what we call gastroenteritis. And before I continue, I always appreciate everyone who has put his or her effort to support this channel. I know it's not always simple for one to commit him or herself in watching a certain video, but I always appreciate, because if it were not for you, we could not have been where we are at the moment. So let's continue sharing and liking our videos so that they may reach the whole world. We are still talking about food poisoning under the topic of gastroenteritis, or what we call stomach flu. And we will start this video by talking about what are the causes, or what causes stomach flu or gastroenteritis. So, gastroenteritis is usually caused by a number of different viruses that attack your gastrointestinal system. Get this clearly. Gastroenteritis or stomach flu is always caused by a numerous number of viruses that attack your gastrointestinal tract or system. It's not caused by influenza virus, which gives your seasonal flu. So gastroenteritis and influenza virus, which gives you a seasonal flu, those are two different things, because gastroenteritis virus attacks the gastrointestinal system or your stomach, but the influenza flu attacks your nostrils or brings about flu like a cough or something. So those are two different things altogether. Less often bacteria can cause it. So we can always assume that gastroenteritis is caused by a bacterium, because bacteria are the most common and the most notorious, but it's not always the case. Most of these are caused by viruses, as we discussed in our previous videos. So it's not often bacteria can cause it. Typically, due to contaminated water or food that was prepared inadequately, or in an unhygienic environment, prevent in an unhygienic environment. Let me repeat this point. It's less often, or gastroenteritis is less often caused by a bacteria, but it's typically due to contaminated water or food that was prepared inadequately or in an unhygienic environment. What are the ways to apply to prevent stomach flu? Or how can you prevent contracting stomach flu? A point to note: if you know that stomach flu is going around, take extra precautions. If you know this disease is going around, take extra precautions. Avoid close contact with infected people, and if possible, wash your hands frequently. Avoid crowded areas, or avoid close contact with infected people, and if possible, wash your hands frequently. Some basic ways to avoid getting stomach flu and illness in general include washing hands regularly and getting plenty of rest. Other methods of prevention include the following. Number one, use, and this is very important, use the dishwasher instead of washing dishes by hand when possible. can use the dishwasher instead of using your hands, because your hands might be contaminated. And if you contaminate the plates or the dishes, obviously you will spread this stomach flu. Number 2, use soap and water instead of hand sanitizers. Nowadays, after the corona era, everyone is running towards sanitizers. So in this case, use soap and water instead of hand sanitizers. Though the hand sanitizers can help, but not as good as washing your hands with soap and water. Number 3, keep a sick member of family isolated. So if one member of your family has a stomach flu, isolate this member and restrict them to one bathroom and have the rest of the household use the other. So the affected family member should use a separate bathroom from the others to avoid contracting or spreading stomach flu or gastroenteritis, because it's always contagious. Number 4, wipe off shopping cart handles, because somebody might have handled the cart, the shopping cart, with contaminated hands. Then when you come and step your hands on the contaminated handle, it's easily to spread the bacteria from the cart handle, maybe to your mouth or to your dishes. So make sure you wipe off shopping cart handles, because they are always handled by so many people. Clean counter shops. Clean counter shops and surfaces with a disinfectant spray. Clean counter shops and surfaces with a disinfectant spray, and be sure to wash clothes and beddings as well. You wash clothes and bedding as well. A question we should be asking ourselves, a very big question: is stomach flu contagious? Is stomach flu contagious? And as we have been discussing, and those who have been following me, the answer is direct and very simple. Yes, it's contagious. Yes, it's contagious. So if you ask me, I'll answer yes. Usually a virus causes stomach flu symptoms takes 1 to 3 days after exposure. So you are contagious before you develop the symptoms. So when you get this stomach flu virus, you are contagious before you develop the symptoms. Another point, even after you are recovered from symptoms, you remain contagious for up to 2 weeks. Even if, get this very clearly, even after you've recovered from the symptoms, you remain contagious for up to 2 weeks. That means you can still spread this disease even if you have recovered. So if somebody that has been isolated, the isolation should continue for more than the 2 weeks, so that the patient or the affected person can recover fully. A point to note, and this is very important, to reduce the risk of passing to others, don't walk old school with the symptoms. So if you have the symptoms, don't go to work to prevent the spread to others. All the child, if it's a child, should not go to school, because there is a high risk of the child spreading to fellow children at school. Because as we say, in gatherings, it's very easy to spread this kind of a disease. So this marks the end of our video today, and in our next video we will continue concluding about this topic. We are not far from concluding, but what is most important is for you people to get the right information. So let's continue keeping the support on. Let's stay together as a family. Let's continue subscribing, liking and sharing our videos. Have a good evening.